It's week one. We've made it. We're here. We're live in the Action Lab, your premier sports and entertainment talk show on the internet. And we are diving into the best matchups of week one. Now, we don't always dive into all of the matchups. So if there's a sport or a team that you're looking for, then, throw those out at the end and we can jump in and chat about those games little by little. But we usually go, for the sake of time, we isolate our 6 to 8 best games of the week. And we kind of break them down, what we think is going to happen. We look at the spreads, we look at the matchup, and we see, what we're going to expect from those matches. So let's dive into it. Our first game coming up is the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, Kansas City Chiefs coming off the Super Bowl. So they are ready to roll here in this game. And also, they have a better team than they had last year. Meanwhile, you have the Ravens coming in on the other side here, who I think, are going to be a good regular season team. They're they've always been a quality regular season team. Currently, we're sitting at Kansas City -3, so favored by 3 at home. Over-under total set at 46.5. The money line is Baltimore +3, 130. So it's bet 100 to win 130. Or KC is -155. So you have to bet 155 to win $100. So that's kind of how those work. If you have questions on any of these little betting graphic pieces, let us know and we could answer those for you so that you guys can make sure you're betting the way you want to. So let's dive in. This is a game where I have a best bet along with Scotty's. I have Scotty's best bets as well. We'll share those in a little bit. But my best bet of the week and Scotty's best bet is the same. We got it at 46. So the total under 46 in this game. In case you don't recall last year, Rec and Doc, what was one of the biggest trends in the first 2/3 of the season for betting? Do you remember?
My first guess would be bet the under on Thursday games.
You're pretty much there. We go a little further. Prime time games, exactly. Prime time games were an absolute lock to the under last season, and it was until about week 13 or 12 or something. Prime time unders were dominating all season long, which is why I feel like, getting into the swing of the season, getting going right off the bat, this is going to fall into the same category. 46 points is, it's a line where I think both these teams are going to want to establish some sort of rhythm. And what do the Ravens do when they establish their rhythm? They're running the ball and they're trying to be meticulous, try to keep the ball out of the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs and try to run that clock and get that time of possession. I think that's going to play a little bit of a factor in this game. I think the Kansas City Chiefs, obviously, still you still got Rashee Rice, you got Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in this offense that I think is going to be really good. They got some nice talent on this team. Xavier Worthy as well. I like his over totals of over 44.5. I think is what it was set at. So I like some of those. Rashee Rice, I love his over totals when it comes to receiving. I think both of those are going to have some nice boosts. But generally in this game, at least from a betting standpoint, love the under in this one. As far as the spread goes, I lean Kansas City, but it wasn't a strong enough lean for me to just jump on it. I know a lot of people are kind of looking at this Ravens team and the Chiefs, and they're saying, man, these are really close. The Ravens should cover 3 here, but the defending champs got better. They did. And they're going to be stronger. They're going to be able to move the ball. I think they win this game by around. It might be close. I mean, maybe they win it by around 3, but still, not enough for me to place a bet on the side.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at these two teams, and they're both juggernauts in their own right. You know, the Ravens, how they run the ball, it's the AFC North style football, you know, smash mouth. Well, they just added Derrick Henry, so they just added a tier 1 guy to do what they do best, and that's run the football and tire you and break you down. And on the other side of the ball, you have the MVP and you have the 2-time defending back-to-back Super Bowl champs in the Chiefs with Patty Mahomes at the helm. You know, they just went out and got Xavier. So, you know, they already had an arsenal. I don't think the drops continue this year like they did last year. I think that was a really big fluke on the offensive end. The defensive end, we know what they provide. You know, the offense jumps on you, makes you throw the ball, then the defense just clamps down on you, makes you throw interceptions. The Chiefs were amazing in the turnover differential on defense. So this is a game that I look to be cat and mouse in the beginning, but then like they're going to kind of open up. And we both know week 1 they're going to try, but they're not going to try their hardest. So I would assume that if it goes one way or the other a little bit, that you'll see like teams are going to try, but you might see some second and third string guys get out there. But I'm just excited that football's back, and the fact that this is one of the first games, I think the NFL actually nailed this one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a great one. By the way, Ravens' new defensive coordinator, they have some new pieces on defense that I think going up against an offense like this, it's going to be an interesting one for them. So that's going to be where I think if the Chiefs get out to a nice early lead, again, we talk about this with the Ravens all the time about how it's tougher for them as a running team identity-wise to get back into a game using Lamar Jackson's arm. And, you know, we're not into the playoffs yet. I know Lamar Jackson will try to make some plays and he'll be successful, but just don't dig yourself a hole. That's all I got to say. What's up, Gibby? How we doing? Canada Relief, how we doing? Derrick Henry, 150 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's a hefty first game for the Ravens if Derrick Henry can get 150 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. If that's the case, I think they win this game. I mean, if he has a stat line like that, I think the Ravens have a really good chance to win this game.
Exactly.
102 like that. If they're doing that, then they're being very successful, and Lamar hasn't had to throw much. Now, if he does that and Lamar still has to throw, and we're in a shootout, then that's a different story because we know that KC can put up the points. But do you trust Lamar to have to push the ball downfield that far, especially if you get down 2 or 3 scores in the second half? Derrick Henry's only going to be able to get you so much. He's not really a pass catching back. So if you get down, what are you going to do? You know, They have a lot more questions on that end than KC does.
Yeah. Because see, for the spread, I'll go ahead and save people a lot of time. I would not touch any of the favorites just because it's week 1 and you don't know how they're going to come out. Are the Chiefs better than the Ravens? Yes. Could they cover the -3? They could. They beat it by 7 in the playoffs. But again, it's week 1. This same team that lost by 3 to the Lions week 1 of last year after just making a bunch of boneheaded mistakes. You don't know how these teams are going to come out. I would not make any bets on the favorites. So I would have a lean for Ravens +3 because these are 2 good teams in week 1. But the thing I really like is, again, under 46.5. Like when was the last time we had an absolute shootout to open up a game or to open up a season? You don't see that often. Under 46.5 easily, despite both of these teams, being in the AFC Championship game last year.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that gets me the most, Chris, is I'm on ESPN Bet right now looking at the lines. Chiefs -3 is even. The Ravens +3 is -120. Now, the line that they had was 47.5 for the over-under, and that was 105, -105 for the over, -115 for the under. Now, you drop that down just 1 point to the 46.5. It goes to plus sorry, it just moved. It goes to plus 102. You drop that even further down to 44. It's plus 125. So if you're looking at 46, chat, if you're looking at for me anyway, I'm looking at 40. The difference between 47 and 44, it's literally a field goal. If you're going there, you take a dip and see what these plus minuses look like, because the under at 44.5 plus 125, it looks pretty good to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, that's something to keep in mind. There's definitely some, key numbers, especially in the NFL as far as frequency goes. Like you have the key numbers of 41. You got the key number of 47, 51, 44. There's some that the frequency of some of those numbers hit a little bit more. So a lot of times Vegas likes to put numbers around some of these. So, 47 is a very high frequency. It's one of the top 4 percentage wise frequency over under total that hit the numbers that's typically hit. It's like 3.45%, which is 4th highest in frequency. So you're sitting right now at the 46.5. So, you definitely you're in a place where you're trending on some of those key numbers there. But that being said, I think this is going to be a fascinating game. I think this could be kind of, I don't know, maybe a grindy kind of game. Either way, I'm so excited for this one. Ravens Chiefs. I think the NFL nailed this first game of the week, and I think that the Chiefs and the Ravens could be in line to have a potential clash in the playoffs as well. Brandon says, "Go Ravens, go." By the way, shout out to all those Ravens fans that are out there just continuing to comment on all of our YouTube videos. I'm telling you, man, the Ravens fans out there, softest. No offense to you, Brendan, and Orioles, man, y'all fan base.
FTR.
Y'all fan base is interesting. Let's just put it that way. Like, I never thought that the Ravens would be a fan base that I'd be like, yeah, not high on them. Like, I was always neutral, but yeah, they're growing on that tree right now. They're growing on that. All right. So let's move on to our next matchup here, and that's the Packers and the Eagles. This one is a fascinating game. So, this game will be played Friday. Just say it, Chris. Ravens fan base are soft crybabies. They're the most sensitive. That's for damn sure. They're the most sensitive fan base. They try to protect Lamar at all costs. That's their baby. I get it.
That's my quarterback.
It's
my quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. All right, let's get to the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles, which will be played Friday in I believe this was Brazil, right? Yeah, man, Packers lose by 28. We suck. What? Which is why I love my best bet at +3. I love Packers +3 in this matchup. And we'll dive into that here in a sec. I got it at +3. Now it's Philadelphia -2.5. I don't like it at 2.5 as much as I do 3. I will say, this could be a teaser game, which I have on my list here. There's a handful of teaser games that fit the bill. Now, the spread's 2.5 in favor of Philadelphia. Over under set at 48.5. Money line, Green Bay +114, which you can sprinkle a little bit on that, and you're not getting a ton of value, but you could sprinkle. And Philadelphia -135. Not crazy value on either side that you're going to be like blown away by, but a way that you can manipulate the spreads here is taking teams that are +2.5, like the Green Bay Packers are in this respect. I got Green Bay at 3, but when it moved down to 2.5, a standard teaser is moving the line 6 points. So what that does is it gets you through a key number of 7, where you can say, all right, I want to take the +2.5 for the Packers and move it to +8.5. And then you pair that with another game that's similar. So you always have to have at least two teams in a parlay for teasing purposes. But this is a great teaser leg. One leg of a teaser parlay. Packers plus 8.5 against the Eagles. I like Packers plus 3. Now, you got new defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley. You got an Eagles team that I think is everyone's on. Everyone's looking at this Eagle team. They got Saquon. They got everything under the sun when it comes to offensive weapons. But they did lose. We talked about this a lot in the offseason. Or their most important player offensively, almost on the roster potentially, because when Jason Kelce retired, he was the one that was the general on that field. Now, that being said, I think the Green Bay Packers are a little underrated here. I think that the Green Bay Packers finished last year with Jordan Love, who played like an MVP in the second half. And the Packers defense is kind of, I feel like, not getting a lot of love. I think that Green Bay is the side here. What's changed since the last time we saw the Packers? They're healthy. They're playing the same with the same pretty much team.
They downgraded running back.
I mean, I just don't know what I feel like where they fell off. But we're saying that in a neutral field that, I mean, because that's where we're at. This line makes the Eagles 3 points better than Green Bay, which I don't know if I can get behind that. So Packers here. I love Packers. I got them at plus 3 as one of my best bets. And I think the Packers have a chance to win this game outright, potentially. But what say you guys?
Yeah, I have the Packers at, I got the Packers at plus 3 as one of my best bets as well. Yeah, this is a neutral field. This is in Brazil. So, both teams have really long flights. Both from the north gotta fly all the way down south. Yeah. I mean, it's still funny that they have two green teams going to a stadium where you're not allowed to wear green. But, yeah, think about that for a second. But, yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, the Packers, they didn't do a whole lot. They lost David Bakhtiari, which he was hurt a lot anyways. Still hurts to lose, like, the cornerstone of your offensive line, like the Eagles did with Jason Kelce. So the big thing for the Eagles, they have two different things to prove. The Packers are coming in trying to prove that they're not a fluke. Last year was not a fluke. Jordan Love is the franchise quarterback, and this is the team that they can ride with for a decade. Meanwhile, the Eagles had to prove that last year was a fluke, and this is also the team that they can ride with for a decade. Got to prove that Jalen Hurts wasn't just a one-year wonder, just out of merchant of the tush push. There's a lot of factors going on. But hopefully this time the Eagles actually have competent coaching. No Matt Patricia, that's an immediate upgrade. Vic Fangio, say what you want, he's not Matt Patricia. That's going to at least count for something. To neutral field, hard to tell. Again, I like Packers plus 3 as well. This is going to be a much better game than it looks on paper.
Yeah, I mean, whoa, that was a huge echo.
I didn't hear
Is
it.
that you?
I didn't hear it.
I think it's Rex. Mute up, Rex.
No, I agree. I think that the plus 3 for Green Bay, I think it's a smart move. I mean, you take a look at the lines, and the 8.5 even makes sense. But for me, I'm actually going to take the over/under on this game. I'm actually going to take the over for 44.5. It's minus 195, but I'm going to pair it with something else. So, but I just think that with the game being down in Brazil and it being a neutral site, I think these teams are going to find a way to score at least a couple times each. I don't think 44.5 is that hard to reach. It's literally 3 touchdowns each side and a field goal or 2. So I just think that this is going to be like I said. I agree with Rec and agree with you, though. I do think this is going to be a better game than people realize.
What number did you get on the over/under?
I got it at 44.5.
Wow, you got a great number. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. The over/under total right now is 49.5.
Right.
So if you got it at 44.5, you're looking pretty right now. you got the best of the number.
I got this as soon as that stuff came out. I went out and I made sure I grabbed this game. because I was like that. I know as soon as people saw the line initially that it was going to bump up, and then it's at where it's at now, obviously. But yeah, because now at 40, what did you say? It's 49.5 now.
Currently 49.5 in the FanDuel Sportsbook market.
Yeah, I got it at it was just like plus 102 at one point, or it's like right at even, and now it's you can't even get it. It's minus like 110, I think. Right? Is that what you have?
Yes, I think so. It's minus 110 for 49.5. Yep.
Yeah. So I would either go, like I said, I'd either go your route with the spread, or I'm just gonna get, obviously with me, I'm taking the over, but your number is absolutely a solid play as well. But I just think that with the offenses we're going to see, I think the defenses are going to have an issue in the beginning trying to catch up to everything, and then the second half I think it's going to be just enough to get to about 45 46 points. So but this game is going to be on the poll I'm going to put up, guys. After we get through the next game, we'll be halfway through the matchups I have on the poll. I need you guys to vote and let us know what your best week 1 matchup is, and if it's not on here, to let us know.
There you go, guys. Yeah, we have a lot more teams to cover. So again, we're gonna have some polls popping up throughout this. Make sure you're voting. Make sure you're getting those in there. Yeah. All right. So Packers Eagles. This will be another fun one. I think that I'm going to be really fascinated to see both of how these teams. One, again, the Eagles without Kelsey, and then 2, the Packers, how they carry over what they did last season and how they just shocked everybody, and what they are going to be capable of doing this year. So, Jordan Love is getting all the love right now. Part of me feels like I'm falling into a trap, like it's a trap, like with Jordan Love hype. I feel like the hype is a little too much, but I still feel like this team, he's developing and they're going to be good. I mean, Green Bay always finds a next amazing quarterback after losing their previous one. So until that doesn't happen, I guess I'm not gonna jump to conclusions. We'll see. But let's get to the next game here. So all of us kind of lean towards Packers +3. I love Packers +3, and then also at 49.5, the over, or 48. It's 49.5 now. I probably wouldn't touch it.
No,
It's too late.
Too late. You missed the best of the number. All right, let's get to your boys. Let's get to the next game of the week that we are looking forward to, and it's going to be an interesting one too. Pittsburgh at Atlanta. So Pittsburgh going down to Atlanta, 3.5-point favorites as the Falcons host the Steelers. So Falcons favored by 3.5. Over under set at the total at 42. And this one has so many different angles. One, as from a Broncos standpoint, I'm going to see what Russ has and what that looks like. And they're not even favorites going against.
Why wouldn't they be? The Falcons should be favored. They're favored in most of their games this year.
Yeah, Falcons have pretty much the best. If you watched our award show, you would think that the Falcons are the best team in the entire NFC. But
yeah,
ATL ActionLab.
ATL
ActionLab. Yep.
Exactly. We're high on Kirk Cousins because the Atlanta Falcons have Kirk Cousins, who's going to be able to elevate everybody around him when it comes to all those wide receivers. You got Kyle Pitts, you got Bijan Robinson, you got all of these beneficiaries from being able to come in and get a lot out of a quarterback that can actually be accurate, because that's not something that they had any accuracy from anybody previously. Desmond Ridder, is he on a team? Where is he right now? I don't think anyone knows. I think it's all just, where is he? No one knows.
He's back in Atlanta.
He's in
He's back in Arizona.
Arizona practice squad.
Yeah. So it's just like this team, especially with the coaching changes that they experienced over the offseason as well. So many different things. But that being said, the Steelers also have change. They have Russell Wilson at quarterback. Now, there's one side in this that I like, and it's referring to the over-under total. One of my best bets of the week is going to be that over-under total for the Pittsburgh Atlanta. I got it at 42.5. I still like it at 42, actually. And I think it might still be at 42.5, which is kind of strange to me. The under is a minus 115 as it sits now. But when I'm looking at this matchup, I'm looking at Russell Wilson, who's coming in, and I don't know if I can picture him commanding an offense that drives down the field and scores a ton. On the other side of the football, I like the Steelers defense. This is a pretty good defense, and they're going to be able to slow down Atlanta a little bit, I think, as well. This one feels like it's trending towards under for me enough to say, hey, I just don't see where the points are going to really get stacked up on one side or the other, especially if Pittsburgh struggles to move the ball. I can picture the Steelers offense just, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. Maybe they get a field goal, and I mean, maybe they get a touchdown, but more to 3 and outs. I just know what Russ is capable of and holding onto the ball too long, even against Atlanta, who maybe doesn't have like the defense is going to blow you out of the water by any means, but there was some defenses last year that weren't great that Russ struggled against. So until I see him be efficient, and we'll see, I'm not touching the spread. I'm more on the under, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I take a look at this, and you obviously recognize Steeler fans, so this is a little bit different for us than you. But for me, this is one of the gag bets that I'm doing, that I'm taking the under, and I took the slider, and I literally took it as far right as I could. And I'm actually going to take it at under 34.5 for this game.
Ooh.
I have zero faith that we're going to put up more than 17 points. I think, unlike what you said, I think Atlanta's going to be able to get to 21. And I think that we're going to be probably a field goal, 2 field goals and a touchdown if we're lucky, just because it's week 1, filling stuff out. And it's not that Atlanta's that good. It's just that it's a mixture of both, that we're that bad, I think. Still getting the kinks out, especially with the O-line. The money line right now is Steelers plus 155, Falcons minus 185. If you're feeling frisky, maybe take the Steeler money line. I mean, it's an opportunity there. The defense has won those games. I mean, look at the last time we played Atlanta. And even with the spread, it's plus 3.5 is minus 120, and then the Falcons at minus 3.5 is even. So, I'm just one where the total you see right there, Chris, that says 42 on your screen. Is that the over or under the amount of alcohol I need to drink to get through this game?
Yeah.
It might be.
Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah.
I'll be right there with you.
We got the Arthur Smith revenge game. Who's getting revenge? That's for y'all to decide.
By the way, real quick, I think Jalen Warren, is he playing?
He should. He said he's gonna play.
So he's kind of, is he maybe not 100%?
He'll probably have limited reps. Like maybe you get a little bit of Cordero Patterson in there.
And then the offensive line is kind of beat up a little bit, I think, as well.
The offensive line is wrecked.
Pittsburgh also. Keep in mind, Pittsburgh was 6-3 to the under on the road last year, averaged an NFL low 39 points on the road, and that was with a quarterback similar, if not, I don't know, maybe Russ is slightly better, maybe, but I think that trend continues here. We'll see.
Yeah. And the offensive line is wrecked. Isaac Seumalo is going to he's week to week, but he's probably going to miss a couple of weeks. We only have one healthy tackle. And it's the guy I've been trying to get rid of for the last 2 years and failed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
so that's a problem.
Slider and slider.
Yeah. I gotta hope that Broderick Jones can be healthy. Because I mentioned this, like both of these teams are going to be focusing a lot on the ground and pound. Like you got Bijan here going to try to go through this like a somewhat upgrade Steelers defense that now has the oldest defensive lineman to get to get a high paid and Cameron Hayward, 35 years old, getting a 2-year extension.
I'm doing something wrong at 35, 36, Rick.
Yeah, I'm doing something wrong at 24. I'm hanging out with you asshats.
Oh, get him out of here.
Now he's banned.
now you're banned.
Easiest ban ever.
Damn.
Yeah, but yeah, this will be a tight game. I would lean Steelers 3.5, just because of like the under. Like, how many points are they going to score? Like, will the Falcons actually score enough points to pull away from the Steelers? I didn't bet that, but that would be my lean for this game. Yeah, again, like new system in Pittsburgh, and then in Atlanta, same thing, new system, but Kirk Cousins has not played in the preseason, so he's still going to be rusty. So now that I mentioned, the under looks really good. So you got one team you don't know what you're going to get. You got another team. Again, Kirk Cousins hasn't played in the preseason, so how good will he really be in the first week? People don't realize preseason matters, and that could be the downfall for the Falcons here. Like, if Kirk Cousins is still too rusty, again, we've seen what the Steelers can do late in games, and if it's too close, Steelers could eke out like a 20-17 win somehow.
Okay, so from a spread standpoint, and 3.5 from a betting standpoint, for all you guys in chat, Kirk, 1:00 p.m. game. Kirk wins this. It's not primetime, Kirk. Even though he did well in primetime a couple times last year.
He was pretty nasty in primetime.
He did. He had a couple flashes on primetime last year. He's trying to kick that
narrative.
That narrative.
He put the chains away.
I've been set free.
3 is an important number in betting as well, right? So 3 is, it's one of those numbers where if you win by 3, a field goal, then it's a push, right? Or if it's 3.5 and you're getting that extra half point for betting the underdog. So in this case, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even if Atlanta wins by 3, you still have that extra half point to give you that extra boost over that spread. So kind of an interesting one, especially in a close game. It matters. So keep that in mind. That's why, when you're looking at these numbers, Pittsburgh plus 3.5 stands out a little bit more. Now, I don't trust the offense, and it's a low-scoring game. And typically, generally, in low-scoring games, teams with higher point spreads that are getting points is where you want to lean, generally. Not always the case, but just keep in mind, as we're early on in the season, learning some of the betting things for all you guys who are new, just something to keep in mind. Question: will Docs and Rex bets be a part of the records this year? Would you like them to be? I know, because Scotty and I mean, we could see their records. I know all of our records are in the
Super contest.
So all of you guys can keep tabs on those. Now I know that it's different because that doesn't do over-unders in the super contest.
Or teasers,
right. So it would just be straight up against the spread. But it's up to you. Yeah, I guess it's up to you guys, Rec and Doc, if you want to, have your.
I'd be fine with it.
Rec, you're the one that keeps track of it.
All right.
You already have theirs, right? So it'd make it easier for you.
I don't have theirs. Chris
and
Scotty have.
We'll get with them. It's fine.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. So we'll throw in and see if we can add those in for you guys. All right, let's move on. Falcons Steelers in the books. Let's see how. I'm really curious to see how Russ does for you guys. Again, I'll be drinking wine. Wine's different to drink when I'm in Italy and I'm watching this game.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna hit. You're gonna be. That wine's gonna be hitting twice as hard.
But I'm gonna be saving a little money on the wine. You know, it's not as expensive
Right.
over there, so I feel like, well, I guess it depends on where we go, but yeah, we'll see. I'll be drinking that wine along with you, Doc, because I know we're drinking partners this year.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
definitely, 100%.
I mean,
My man.
that's right. All right, let's get to the next game of the week, and it is a showcase of two. I'll drink to that.
All
Cheers.
right.
You too, Benny. Let's go. Come on.
It's getting into the Indianapolis Colts and the Houston Texans, showcasing two of the promising young star quarterbacks in the NFL, Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud, both of which will be this matchup normally is kind of like a dull, boring matchup. But this time around, it's a little bit different. There's a lot to like about, seeing what both of these kids can maintain and do. We didn't get to see a lot of Richardson because he got hurt last year. So we're going to see kind of a healthy version of what he can do. Obviously, very athletic, very dynamic, what his talents are. But you also saw CJ Stroud make a run at the end of, or just all throughout last season as a rookie, and kind of blow everyone out of the water. So, getting into this one, let me double check and see if the spread is still the same as what we have here. So 2.5 is still the spread. Houston is favored by 2.5 in this game, and they are on the road in Indy. Now, Indy and Houston have a total at 48.5 when it comes to the point total. Houston is a minus 148 and Indy plus 124. So a lot of heavy on the money line for just the Texans winning this game straight up. But this was at 3 at one point, and it fell down to 2.5, which with that,
Some sites have it at 3 still, by the way.
if it's at 3, I lean Colts plus 3. The only reason why I didn't pull the trigger on 3 and I didn't want to do much with it, because anytime you have young quarterbacks, and this is kind of like the thing, even with we have Caleb Williams, we have Anthony Richardson, we have Bo Nix, we have all these young quarterbacks around the league that we're excited to see. I'm hesitant backing some of these young quarterbacks before I kind of see what they can do over a stretch of games. I want to see a game or two before I really can pull the trigger. So I was a little hesitant. I would take Colts. I would lean Colts plus 3 in this matchup. Since it dropped down to Colts plus 2.5 instead of 3, what does that open the door for, ladies and gentlemen? A teaser leg. You named it. You got it.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say that too.
a teaser leg. 2.5 is that key number that we love to see. And I already mentioned that one of my teaser legs was Green Bay, or no, who was it?
Correct.
Or
Yeah.
it's not one. Actually, it wasn't one of my official bets. Because I got Green Bay plus 3, but that was I would be confident
You said that.
linking Green Bay with a Colts at plus 8.5 to have one of my teasers. So that's actually something that could be of interest for you guys if you're interested in that. But any lean goes towards the Colts. I'm kind of curious with what Anthony Richardson could do. These two teams played for the division crown in week 18 last year, with the Texans winning a tight matchup. So, this was a close matchup last year with a quarterback that, I feel like they are going to be getting back this year, going to be a little bit of an upgrade. They were neck and neck with them despite most of the year, again, with playing with a backup quarterback. Generally, I think that this should be around like a 1.5 point game as opposed to what it was at 3, and the line did reflect that and move down to 2.5. So I think that Shane Steichen could have a field day attacking this Houston run defense. I think that could be maybe one of the advantages that can be exploited here. But this feels like Anthony Richardson's game to keep close. And I mean, the Colts were up 14-0 against the Texans at one point. And again, they're like that. They were in the driver's seat. So lean Indianapolis, not one of my best bets of the week. If anything, I would tease up Indy with another team that fits in those parameters for a teaser.
So out of 10, how confident are you in that?
Of the Colts teaser?
Yes,
or
you
just
say you lean towards them.
Lean towards Colts. I liked it at 3. I don't like it at 2.5.
So then you're saying you're bringing it down below like a 5 in the confidence level.
Yeah. When it comes, I mean, I would say even 4 or 5 at 2.5. So I don't feel great about it at that point. Texans, if it's close and they get a field goal at the end, but I would like Indy better at 3.
Okay.
It's like you got divisional matchup usually changes the game. Like I would say the Texans are a far superior team to the Colts. I don't think that's an insane statement, but you do have the divisional game in Indianapolis. Again, most of the time you always try just a little bit harder against a divisional opponent. So if you lose at home to a division rival, week 1, that just takes a huge hit to your season. You gotta start up on the right foot immediately.
I don't watch a lot of football, so I don't know who Taylor Swift is, but he sounds very fast. Which letter keeps pirates calm? P. Without it, they're irate. If dentists make their money off people with bad teeth, why should I trust a toothpaste that 9 out of 10 dentists recommend? Go Raiders.
Hey, thank you, P3, for all the jokes and the Go Raiders. Appreciate that.
Have a good night, Cola.
Good night, Cola. We'll see you in the morning. But go ahead, Rhett. Continue. You said division matchups. You lose early in the season, and it could be rough.
Yeah, like that's an instant hit to your playoff chances, your chances to win the division at all. Like I could see the Colts just coming out strong. Like again, you have a dynamic quarterback in Anthony Richardson. Is he ready for the big show? I guess we'll find out here soon. But you're not going to go up against like one of the hot teams in the AFC, like a team that many fans and many media pundits are claiming to be probably one of the biggest threats to the Chiefs in the AFC. So they're not going to come out conservative, just run, pass. No, like if you're the coach, you want to come out firing. You want to come out and say, hey, if you really want to be the best, have fun getting through us. Again, will it work? I don't know, but at the very least, it's going to be a whole lot closer than you would expect when you look at the two teams of rosters. Again, Texans, much better team. I'd say I can make the argument that they're better at nearly every single position, including coach. But again, in this situation, you can't just lie down and die. Like this is a big momentum boost for the whole season for whoever wins.
Real quick in the chat. Mute up, Rec, real quick. We have Miss Queen. Welcome in, Miss Queen. If I may ask, how far do Dallas Cowboys go before Jerry says Dak Prescott can stay in Dallas? I think they need to win at least 2 playoff games. Probably 2 playoff games is what keeps Dak in Dallas. We've seen the getting into the playoffs. We just haven't seen him have any consistency in getting any further down the line. So I think they need to win at least 2 playoff games for them to be like, okay, we're making progress. But a one and done? No, done. I think they got to move on. Black Market Breast Milk. Who should I take week 1 for Survivor? Thinking Bengals. Bengals is a very popular pick, and honestly, I think I might be taking Bengals as well. Another sneaky pick to consider, New Orleans Saints. New Orleans Saints playing Carolina. Money line is -200. The Carolina Panthers are going on the road to New Orleans. It feels like a spot where you can get a New Orleans Saints team that you just don't want to pick again later on. You don't want to overthink it because sometimes you can really get into trouble, but it's the Carolina Panthers. I find it really hard to believe that they will come out and knock the Saints around at New Orleans. So that's another one to think about. But by the way, speaking of that, contests in the chat, guys, whoever, as far as you guys just joining in, Miss Queen, if you're not part of our contest, our Survivor or Pick'em, join in. Please join in. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. You could win some cool Action Lab prizes. Doc, Texans Colts.
Yeah, I mean, this is a game that I look forward to. Like you said, two young studs at quarterback. One got hurt, the other one balled out and had a great rookie season. But to me, I'm just surprised that this line is only 2.5 for Houston. I think that this game I think it should have been at least 3.5 or 4, if you ask me, if not higher, because I just think that the firepower that Houston has on offense, the back end of the defense that they have versus what the Colts have, I just think that and honestly, if you ask me, I think that the Texans win by at least a touchdown. I think the game will be closer than that, but I just feel like Houston has too much firepower. And then I also have a question for you, Chris. I have found a bet that I put together for this game. I'm going to put it in chat so chat can vote on this too, and you as well, Rick. Would you place this bet? So I'll read it out loud. I can read it out. You can read it out. Whatever is fine.
Stephon Diggs, anytime touchdown scorer. Jonathan Taylor, anytime touchdown scorer. CJ Stroud, 250 yards. Alt passing. And then Anthony Richardson, 40 yards. Alt rushing. I think
1,089.
I think that I think it could be interesting. What's up, B Smokey? How we doing? Guys, again, scroll up into the chat, join in on our contest if you're haven't done so already. It's free to enter. CJ Stroud, 250 yards, alt passing. What's the normal line on his passing?
Let me go look.
So I see you've successfully turned Doc into a degen, just like you, betting on everything he can find.
Welcome to the club,
I'm a
Doc.
degenerate, all right? Leave me alone.
Cash it in.
So you'll be betting on every
now,
Steelers game, just like you.
Right now, it's high. It's 272 for the over, 272.5 for the over-under.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think I think the one that I would be worried about most would be the Diggs touchdown anytime, only
Right.
As far as that, because I think that there's so many weapons when it comes to the game plan here. Over under set at 48.5, so there's going to be some points scored. I think that the chemistry between Diggs and CJ Stroud, I may be hesitant about initially. I want to see it a little bit, but otherwise, I think everything else on there feels good. I mean, you could even make that a 3-teamer and be safe and still have some good value.
Right. I just didn't want to get too fancy.
Yeah.
Because we know how the Colts pass defense can be. That I felt like 250 was a solid number. There was no reason to go to 272.5, which was like the original. Like, I'll take a little loss on the money, but I'm going to gain it back with the anytime touchdowns with JT and Diggs. And then 40 yards for Anthony Richardson rushing. I think that was a pretty solid number as well. Not anything that's over the top that's so astronomical that like I need a miracle, but not low enough that I'm not getting any value out of it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think there's some reasonable bets in that list for sure. Dang, conference championship or bust. The only thing is, who are you going to replace Dak with? It's true. I mean, you got to have a solution for that. But
Rec would say Super Cooper.
Yeah,
So
probably. So there you go. Texans Colts. I think this is going to be one of the low key, more interesting matchups based off of just the star power at quarterback, the young star power. So it'll be interesting. With great QBs, even when it's time to shoot the horse, you still need a ride home from the saloon. Your old horse already knows the way home better than any other horse on the market. The problem is that horse is always going to give you the same thing. And I think this is a make or break year for Dak. We're going to get into Dallas here in a minute. This is a make or break year for Dak. I think that you kind of know what you're getting at this point. If you find the same result this year, you're in that mediocre phase of a franchise that isn't getting you anywhere really. It's not getting you a top draft pick, and it's not getting you deep into a playoff to compete for a championship. So what's it really doing for you to be hovering around the same results every single year for the Cowboys? It's not great. So
Right.
that's what you're running into. But all right, let's move on. Broncos and Seahawks. We have the Broncos and Seahawks here. My boys going to Seattle to take on Geno and the Seahawks. Bo Nix starting at quarterback for the Broncos, named captain as well. He's gonna get that Tony Romo treatment. But I'm excited for this one. Now, I don't know how I feel about this game in general because obviously rookie quarterbacks, as I've mentioned, it's hard to know what to expect from a rookie quarterback in their first start. I think there was a stat where top quarterbacks, and maybe this, I saw this somewhere. I don't know. It might be a right stat, maybe a wrong stat, where the number one overall pick is like 10-2 in the history of their, I don't know. The first overall pick doesn't have great record in their first game, and you translate that down to some of the other rookie quarterbacks. I feel like there might be a little bit of a struggle for Bo Nix in a loud environment like Seattle, so I can see a little bit of that happening, but. If I'm looking at some of the value here, I like the spread was Seattle -6 at 41.5. Let's see where it's at currently as we sit right now. I believe it's
5.5.
Dropped to 5.5. So I liked the Broncos at 6, and the number is now reflecting it down to 5.5. But this isn't something I really want to jump on one way or another from a side standpoint. I'm just curious, and for me, I want to, before I start betting on my own team, because I don't want to bet with my heart. That's the one trend, guys, that you want to be careful of, is betting on your own team, because when you bet on your own team, you think you know it all, and you think you're betting with your head, but really you're betting with your heart and saying, Bo Nix is the next best thing since sliced bread. They're going to cover this spread 5.5, 6, whatever it is, and they're going to look really good. Pat Surtain just got the biggest payday of any DB in history. He's going to be on fire, and he's going to slow things. Like, you could say all these things, but, when you bet on your own team, a lot of times your heart comes into play, and that's a dangerous, dangerous thing.
How'd that work out for you last year?
Well, everyone's betting on the Broncos now. The Broncos are the most bet team to make the playoffs, and they're the most bet team to hit their over total in the NFL. Like, they're just getting crushed on the overs, which kind of worries me as well. So
which is why the under is good.
It's that let's go Bo, it just gets people going. It gets the juices flowing, I guess.
Yeah. And so Bo Nix, I think there's a couple prop bets that kind of like with Bo Nix. I think passing completions, I think the over-under set at 19.5. I like the over on that. I think he can connect at least 20 passes in this game. I think they're going to use him a lot, especially in the short passing game. I think there's going to be a lot of props heavy on Bo Nix. As far as the line now, this line has been all over the place. It was at 4.5 at one point. It's been up to 6, and it's betted back down to 5.5. So I think that bettors are trying to feel this one out, which means if the pros are trying to feel this one out, it's not a game I want to bet a side on. So
no, there's just no way.
Yeah. So if there's any value here, I mean, I think the Seattle Seahawks are a team that, and they could be sneaky, but I just don't know what to expect from them. I don't know what to expect from the Broncos early on before I see a couple games. I'm going to leave this one alone, but I'm really excited for Bo Nix to come in and actually play against, his a good defense on a field that is really, really tough to win on, especially with that crowd in Seattle. So
12th man, yep.
12th man's going to be just going crazy. Now, if he shows poise and he's able to command this offense in an environment like that as a rookie in his opening start, look out. I mean, I think that's something he's already shown a lot of leadership and a lot of maturity and how the receivers are raving about him. So I think that there's a possibility that he can, have some success. I don't want to just bank on the first game that he comes out. He's going to blow everything out of the water, but it's a stay away from me. Medic Gibby, Nix scares me this season. I predict he gets hurt and misses half the season. Don't say things like that, Medic. Why are we saying things like that?
Yeah, why? It's not even week one yet. It hasn't even started week one yet.
In Bo Nix we trust. Albeit Lumen Sunday. Nice, Holy.
Nice.
Holy Ash. Gonna be taken in the game. Love it.
Hopefully it's not raining.
So yeah, and then also too, the total I think is reflected in maybe the offense struggling on the road. So Denver maybe not scoring as many points, and then also Seattle at home. We'll see what that offense ends up looking like as well. But to stay away from me.
Yeah, makes sense. So what happened the last time the Broncos had a new quarterback open the season against Seattle?
Didn't turn out so great. If I recall, it was Russ couldn't get into the end zone on like 3 1-yard drives. And like he tried everything he could, and Russ couldn't enjoy for your Steelers. But he couldn't punch it in from like 1 yard.
With the negativity
3 times. So it'll be about 80 and sunny. Great game. Great day for a game.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah, like I said, I've never been a big fan of the Broncos drafting Bo Nix in the first place. Thought it was way too much of a reach for a guy they didn't need yet. Because Seahawks, they're still trying to build up, which is weird, especially on the defensive side, but still trying to build up, but they have pieces all over the place. And they still don't like where the Broncos are as a team. I'm not going to say the Seahawks are just going to run their show, but I don't think it's going to be a great game for Seattle. This is not a game I would really touch in general. Unless you want to maybe make some... Unless you want to add... What was it? The teaser. The teaser maybe take Seahawks to money line. I really wouldn't touch this game.
Also, too, head coach Mike McDonald knew he's premier on the defensive side, right? So how that looks on the offensive side, and who knows? I don't know. But when it comes from that defensive mindset, is it going to translate to what they can do offensively as well? We'll see. But Doc.
Yeah, I take a look at this game, and this game has a lot of question marks on both sides for obvious reasons. What team's going to jump out? What team's going to run the ball well? What team's going to be able to move the ball well? I think that this is going to be one where in the beginning it's going to be a little sloppy. Not anything crazy sloppy, but just week one, rust, jitters, whatever have you. But I think that this is a very good, probably one of the best ways that you could gauge a rookie quarterback is by going into Seattle, because it doesn't matter if Seattle goes 0-17 or 17-0, that crowd goes nuts regardless. The sound, the atmosphere, just the loudness to get your quarterback into even the slightest bit of a rhythm with all that yelling and everything like that. This is a really good poise test, like you said. If he can come out and be under poise, be calm, collected, make his throws, make his reads, do what he needs to do to win the game, then I feel like Denver wins. But if he just shows up and can't even manage the game, I see this being a Seattle win just by the simple fact that the quarterback played. Not saying it's all his fault, but I'm just saying that is going to be the Achilles heel, just like it is here in Pittsburgh. So I'm just saying.
Stop with the negativity.
I'm being honest. All right. Listen.
He's being realistic, Rec. He's on.
Listen, I'm not an asshole like you coming out here and being like, I gotta hang out with you asshats. Right? Seattle minus 270 for me. I think it would be good for me. I'll take the money line on this. I'm not going to touch the spread or the total, just for the sheer simple fact of this is either going to be a shootout or this is going to be a defensive gem. So, minus 270 for me for Seattle money line is more than enough for me to parlay it into something else. I'm sure I can make it a part of a leg of a parlay. So
a lot of juice.
Right. I'm betting. I'm just taking Seattle just so that way it's a filler. That's about it.
Yeah, with the juice, you gotta. So minus 275. So for all you guys who are new betting, if in a standard scale, it's bet 275 to win $100.
Right. It's obviously not ideal, but it's still better in getting that right than doing something that's like plus, like, saying doing the over under and it being plus something and you're not even getting it right. So I'll my loss with that a little bit.
Without a teaser, I'm not touching this game with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's a 5.5. Teasers don't really make a ton of sense on either side, really. Especially if you're like planning in that standard 6-point teaser. You could tease down. I mean, I guess you could tease Seattle to just on the
0.
plus side too, because it's 5.5 now. So it's on the plus side by a half point. So I guess if you wanted to do that and kind of make that your own money line, I guess you could, but
Yeah, I mean, obviously adjust the sliders. Take a look. I mean, a lot of places allow you to drag and slide your line there, so you can figure something out along with the spread. So if over under isn't your thing, then take a look at the spread, see what makes sense, see what doesn't. I mean, obviously you're not going to take a spread where it goes to minus 14 for one side or the other, but this is a game, like I said, that's going to really make or break, if you ask me, Bo Nix's start to his career. Like, you're going into a place that's loud. You're going into a place that has history. They have rattling quarterbacks who have gone on to have really great careers. This is a time for him to step up and show what he's worth, and that way we can see exactly how much Chris and I are drinking this year.
I mean, Bo Nix, baby. Let's go. It's Bo Nix time.
It's my quarterback.
I can't wait to see what he's got. And especially in Seattle. STG, we don't even know what kind of show that they'll run, especially on defense. It'll be fun though.
I just hyped your boys up. Come on, STG.
Just hyped up the Seahawks.
I guess you could say with Bo Nix, you're pretty boned.
Can we get him out of
Yeah,
here?
you're banned. You're banned. Get out of here. Show us your Bo Nix.
It's spicy.
It's spicy. That's for sure. All right, let's move on. So overall on this game, no bet for me on this game. I'm just gonna enjoy it as a fan. Just pure.
Are you gonna enjoy it though?
Oh, well,
we're gonna be drinking.
I think I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm realistic.
Is that 41.5? How much we're drinking? Is that it?
I criticize everyone evenly. I just want to see the product in the regular season first before I jump on board. True. And
just come on down to Copperhead Road.
How much is like, Geno Smith has had a kind of a nice comeback story in Seattle, and how much does that really like carry on? Like, how long do we think the Geno Smith experiment is going to continue, like with the success level that we expect it to be, right? Because I mean, Geno's got some good things going. He's got his flashes and everything, but is he the quarterback that's going to eventually be the guy to get you on the over the top? And I think that I don't know if I would say that he is the guy for them. Right. But at what point does that magic run out, right? Holy Water, what's going on? First time in. Who's your team and where you're from? Like to get to know you a little bit. Every time the Broncos throw a pick, drink a beer. Well, that sucks because I won't be drinking. Hey.
It says you'll have 5 beers by the end of the first half.
I'm not drinking. What are we talking about? Bo Nix's gonna protect the ball, baby. He's gonna be good. He's gonna just be silky smooth. He's not gonna overextend. No, I think actually I do have Bo Nix. What's the line on his Doc? Real quick,
Interception.
what's the
What's up?
line on his interception total? Let me. Actually, here, let me see what I got.
I got you. Oh God.
So I like how the guy named Holy One is talking about. Yeah, you're gonna end up drinking a lot.
Bo Nix interception. Do you want the yes or no, or do you want the actual?
I want
'Cause-
the what the line is for Bo Nix interceptions.
So Bo Nix.
If I had to
interception
guess,
for
it's
half-
1.5.
It's minus 146. Let alone anything. Just so you know. So they're saying there will be one. It's not when.
Yeah,
It's not if. It's when.
There will, yeah. I would say that there should be at least one potential interception. What's it set at? It's at half a half.
I
Yeah,
think
half a point.
Half. Oh,
Yeah, I believe so.
so then how are we getting to 5 beers, Holy Water? I don't get it. Welcome in, Holy Water. Good to have you here. Again,
That's what they said in college.
who's your team and where you're from? Also, too, join our contest. It's free. There's ESPN, there's a Survivor, and a Pick'em. Also, a super contest where you pick 4 games against the spread. All of them are free to enter. You can win some free prizes at the end of the season if you win. And that's for everybody. For Ash, for everyone else who may not have joined. Join in and be a part of it. It's a lot of fun. We will be tracking it all season long.
He's a Seahawks
So,
fan.
It's half INT. So 1 over under minus 160 for throwing one under, and under is plus 125 to not throw one.
What's the alt? Is there an alt line or no?
I can't. It's not giving me one.
Like alt Bonix, alt interceptions?
Yeah, it's not giving me. It won't let me slide it. It's one of those things that's like locked.
Let me see if I could find it real quick because I'm curious if it's.
We suffer with the Mariners. We deserve something. I mean, that's kind of fair. The Mariners.
Listen,
are just like the
I don't even
Broncos.
want to hear that crap. You're not in Pittsburgh. What we have to deal with the Pirates, it pales in comparison to the Mariners. Come on now.
Pirates got no hit today. That's why he's upset.
Okay, stop. I'm banning you myself.
It's no, I got to talk sports. I got people know what happened.
By the way, STG is a Seattle fan. We got a lot of Seattle fans hanging out with us tonight. So
Yeah.
welcome in, Holy Water. Good to have you here.
Do we have a chance? Yes. Will we? No.
Hit that follow button if you guys are enjoying all the content. Let's get to our next game. Cowboys and Browns. The Browns are gonna brown the Cowboys. We all know. But here we go. Cowboys and Browns. The line, Cleveland minus 2.5 at home hosting the Dallas Cowboys. Over under total set at 41. Dallas money line at plus 114. Hey.
All right. Why are we face walking it? There you go.
Let's go. Thank you, Holy Water, for being a part of the community. Appreciate that. Love to have you here. You're not going to have a better place to watch NFL all season long. As far as all the content we're pushing out Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. So welcome in. Now I can show up and trash talk your picks. Not if we hit them all. Holy Water. But Cowboys and Browns. One of the things that stands out to me here is one, we have a couple different options here. Cleveland at home. A lot of people jumping on Cleveland. Money line for Cleveland minus 135 seems like it could be an interesting bet. I'm not necessarily going to go that route for this game. I don't have a best bet on this particular game. But when this opened up a while back, this was plus 1.5. I think this was like a couple months ago when they started pushing out the initial lines for these games. So now we're at 2.5 or so, which what's the key? What does that mean? What does that open up the door for, Rec? 2.5?
Yep, a teaser.
A teaser. That is right. And just so you know, the Cowboys teasing up to plus 8.5 from plus 2.5 is something that I would be interested in doing. And so with that being said, they are officially the one of my legs of my teasers in this matchup. So I have the Cowboys on one leg of my teaser plus 8.5 in this game. I think they have a chance to keep this one close. If not, potentially win it. The Browns offense, we already know with Deshaun Watson. I don't see him burning down the field anytime soon. I think the strength of this defense is going to be a little bit more tailored towards Cleveland's defense, I should say, than anything else. So I think that the offense here, I just don't know if I don't know if Deshaun Watson is going to be a good quarterback at any point. I mean,
He's not.
the over-under total was 233 for Watson. If you're looking at prop bets, I love the under. I don't know if, especially in this Cowboys defense, I think the Cowboys could potentially win this game outright. At the money line at plus 114 is doable. So interesting there. But I like the security of teasing it up and pairing it with another game we're going to get to in a little bit. Ben Bruce, what's up? First time chatter. What's up, Ben? How we doing? Welcome. Who's your team and where you're from? Like to get to know you a little bit. Adamantium, what's going on? Welcome. Browns win because Ezekiel eats 4 burgers. Well, Ezekiel Elliott is, I mean, his over-under total, I think, is around like 35. He's not going to be eating anything. Guys, everyone coming in, join the contest. It's free. This is the last chance. Because all the games start tomorrow. We got to get you guys in. Super contest against the spread, 4 picks. It's free. Pick 'em, free. Survivor, free. I want to see where you guys stack up. Join those leagues, and it'll be awesome. Over under 35 burgers. I'll take the over. Because at least, are we talking Andy Reid or are we talking Ezekiel Elliott?
I'm talking Zeke.
Okay.
He doesn't get the burgers. He gets the soup.
Yeah. So I think, in this game, I think both defenses might be the standouts of this, starting out the season. Both offenses going against some decent defenses. I think that especially the Browns at home were a better defense than on the road. Browns on the road were a little bit less potent. So from that standpoint, I think that they'll be able to slow down the Dallas Cowboys enough. With an over-under total at 41 and being able to get 8.5 points, I love it. It's an over-under total that I feel like lends itself to getting a lot more points in a low-scoring potentially game. So that's where I lean in this one. I'm also curious to see how Dak in this offense does. CeeDee Lamb just got paid, so he's ready to go. See how he does against this defense as well. But yeah, this will be an interesting one. Guys, what are your thoughts on this Cowboys-Browns?
I think this is going to be one of the more intriguing games, especially for us in Rec as a Steeler fan. This is going to be one for us to keep an eye on. The problem for Dallas is the new linemen that are coming in, Tyron Smith and Tyler Biadasz. Is it Biadasz? How do you say it, Rec?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Biadasz.
Yeah. Tyler Guyton is now their left tackle. I think he has to go up against Myles Garrett. So that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. But last year, Cleveland couldn't defend the run very well. They were 22nd. Not saying that Zeke and the rest of that running back core strikes fear into anyone, but it's something to keep an eye on. Watson ranked 40th out of 49 passers last year in passing, and this is, he's coming off a bum shoulder, so Lord only knows. But, I just look at the matchups for whoever has to watch Myles Garrett, whoever has to go up against Micah Parsons, because both of these guys are at the best at their positions, arguably. We've had that argument already, Rec. Don't go off the deep end. But I think the biggest one here, Chris, and you didn't mention it because this game is in Cleveland, is the 15-mile-an-hour winds that are going to be at a minimum swirling in the stadium. So for me, I'm not taking money line. I'm taking the under. I'm taking under 42.5. That's my bet.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, the under feels good, and then against two defenses, if it's going to be blowing wind, is the ball's not going to be able to go through the air as accurately as you would probably expect. I don't hate the under. It is kind of a lower total for two teams that I feel like can potentially score, but given the circumstances, I think I would lean that as well. By the way, Browns are 8-1, both straight up and against the spread in their last 9 home games. Dallas is starting 2 rookies on their offensive line, rookie Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe, I think is what his name is. So that'll be an interesting test against Myles Garrett and this Cleveland pass rush. I still think, again, if you're going to have a low-scoring game, points are important, and getting 8.5 here with the teaser, still, it just gets sweeter and sweeter. Rec, your thoughts?
One of my best bets is Dallas plus 2.5. I'm not worried about the teaser on this one. I think the Cowboys can win this game. Again, the offensive line is going to be a concern for sure. But what's going to be a bigger concern is the Browns quarterback, if he can actually play quarterback in this league anymore. I was talking about how Dak is a stat pattern. Eventually you give him enough chances, he's going to hit a deep ball, especially with CD Lamb in his new contract. He's got options everywhere. And it's still like Michael Parsons to wreck shop. And even on the screen here, you see 2 Defensive Player of the Year candidates every year now. So that'll be an interesting battle to see, who can step up for their team even more. Obviously, Cowboys got some gelling to do on the offensive line, but overall, in a low-scoring defensive game, I think the Cowboys have enough firepower to eventually break through the wall. I don't think the Browns have that power on offense.
Fair enough.
Touche.
Adamantium, is CD playing this game? I saw he was on CEL.
Yeah, it was weird. On the fantasy app I use, he was listed as NA, which is not
He's
out
fine.
and not
He will
it's
be
weird.
playing.
I would expect him to be playing. I mean, why wouldn't he? Got paid, right? So I mean, there's nothing holding him back from jumping in and being in this game. So I would expect for him to play. Correct. Okay, so Rec, you like Cowboys just plus 2.5 straight.
Yes.
Doc, you like the under in this game, and I have teased up the Cowboys to 8.5 on one of my legs of my parlay. So, again, Browns are a different team at home than on the road. The road home splits wild. Browns just feast at home, especially with that defensive front. So that's going to be challenging for Dak. He's going to have to get it out fast, and that's going to have to be the game plan. Also, Deron Bland not available for Dallas week 1, which, again, I don't know how worried I am with Deshaun Watson throwing the football. He can't.
Go lock in Trayvon Diggs for a pick 6.
I feel like Deshaun Watson has trouble throwing the ball on a perfectly clear day in sunny. So what am I expecting from a windy day in Cleveland? You know what I just don't know. So
a typical bad day.
All right, let's get to the next game
everything
here.
That adds to my under pick. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Let's get to the next game here, and this is the Los Angeles Rams and the Detroit Lions. Both of which, I mean, this game is going to be fire. I'm so excited for this game. We've been hyping up the Los Angeles Rams offseason. This seems to be one of the more interesting. This could be an absolute barn burner. STG, you might be right. Over 50.5, easy, massive shootout. A lot of the public money is on the Detroit Lions in this matchup. So Detroit plus 3.5 in this. The Rams plus 3.5 going to Detroit. Detroit's 3.5 point favorites in this game. I think that's still the current line as we sit today. Let me double check that and make sure that hasn't moved since we went live. Yep, 3.5. So over under total set 50. LA Rams plus 150. Detroit minus 180. So if I had any lean in this game, and this was one that I had on my list and I changed it. Scotty has this as one of his best bets of the week, and he rightfully, in my opinion, has Rams plus 3.5. This Rams offense is going to be absolutely insane. This I said it a long time ago. I've said it throughout the course of our analysis, gearing up when we do our previews of the divisions and what we've been talking about for the Los Angeles Rams. Between Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, you got Matt Stafford, you got so many weapons. Kyron Williams in the backfield. They lost their biggest asset on defense in Aaron Donald, but their offense with Sean McVay running things is going to be potentially one of the best offenses in the NFL this year, in my opinion, if everyone stays healthy. So you combine that on a controlled environment in Detroit where you won't have to deal with any elements like we were talking about in the Cleveland game, and you have just so many ways to, put points on the board, but you're not going to be able to necessarily get that pressure like you got. You can't replace Aaron Donald. So, you have the flip side of, we talked about indoor-outdoor splits when it comes to Jared Goff. He plays much better in controlled environments over the course of, a regular season. So he's going to have a good day, especially when he's not having to look at Aaron Donald across the line all game long.
That's the entire NFL.
I mean, that's going to be, everyone's going to feel good about that. So I'm with you, STG. I think this could be an absolute shootout. I think this could be a really, really fun game. I think I project this around maybe 50, 55, 56 points. I feel like it could get into that range. So if I had a lean on the over-under total, it would probably be in that over range. But I think the Los Angeles Rams offense is just too good for this to be a 3.5 point spread. I think this is going to be a really, really close game. Lions, can play close games on occasion. And I also think that this Rams could easily backdoor this and come back and cover 3. If this was 3, then I'm not feeling so great on it. But you got that extra hook, that 0.5, that 3.5, that really leans me towards the Rams in this. If I were to bet it, this was, again, one of my best bets. And I was like, you know what? I like some of these other bets better. I could only pick 4. I took the Rams off my list, but Scotty has the Rams plus 3.5 in this one. What do you guys think about this matchup?
Go ahead, Rick.
All right. So you have the rematch from the wild card round last year, where it was low. It was lower scoring than you would expect this game to be, especially with how you introduced it. But again, the Rams now don't have Aaron Donald, so that's gonna be a problem right there. Automatically, that's just gonna boost the offense. Checking to make sure. Yep, it was 24-23 last year, so 47 points, 3.5 less in the total. I would say losing Aaron Donald would probably boost it up to about 50.5. That makes a lot of sense now. Yeah. It's back in Detroit. Of course, Lions have home field advantage. So if you take that away, then they're saying Detroit's about a half-point favorite on a neutral field, like in Brazil. But Lions still have a lot of questions in the secondary. They got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back. They got a rookie corner. Aaron Glenn hasn't been the best DC out there. Rams, they have a new offensive coordinator. Actually, let me look up who he is because I forgot. Oh no, they probably still have the same offensive coordinator. Never mind, it's just the quarterback coach that they left. But sorry, either way, it's a little bit of a new system. Like I said, it's week 1, so I can't pick Detroit because you never know what's going to happen. It's tough all around, honestly. I guess I would lean over, but I'm not a fan of any of these bets, really. Maybe take a teaser, but actually, I don't even like that. I don't think I touch this game at all. It's going to be a great game. It's probably going to be a solid offensive show. And we'll see how the Rams can adapt to no Aaron Donald.
Yeah, I mean, you take a look at this Lions team, and the biggest thing that jumped out to me was last year they won 12 games, but were in the back half of points allowed. They were 23rd. I think that the fact that they got DJ Reader is going to help them. Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson, and I think the rookie you're talking about is Terrion Arnold. Is that who you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that helps the back end enough that, again, this is the team that my hot take, and I don't know where Chairman's at. I'm surprised we haven't seen his name pop up a bazillion times because we're talking about his boys. But this is a team that I think could do some serious damage. Long as they can stay healthy. There's already that injury bug that's creeping up there. You take a look at Sewell and Gibbs and Laporta. They're all questionable. The Rams have Jackson and Havestein. It's questionable. Jackson got suspended. So there's makeshift things going on that are going to have to happen. But I agree. I think that this game is going to be a shootout. I don't care who you have on the back end. You take a look at the firepower at wide receiver and running back for both of these teams, and it just makes you go, wow. So unless we get some all-pro level stuff straight out of week one, I'm taking over 50.5 for sure. But if I was a betting man and not necessarily a smart man, I would take the Lions at -3.5 because I'm a spicy guy. So, I'm not one that's going to shy away from a challenge. But I just think that this is going to be probably the best or second best game we're going to see in week one. You're going to see fireworks. You're going to see all the great stuff that the NFL is supposed to be. Yeah, Aaron Donald's not there, but that just means there's more field that's going to open up, and maybe somebody else steps up. But this game to me screams over and just screams. It's just going to see me watching Chris's face smile when he sees all the LA touchdowns.
I mean, again, the last time these two teams met in the wild card, it was 24-23. It was a 1-point game.
47 total.
Yeah. Yep, 47 total. So again, and now there's no Aaron Donald again. So I think this just opens up a little bit. I think we're gonna have similar. I mean, you're putting Jared Goff and Matt Stafford going head to head and just back and forth. It's gonna be like watching a ping pong ball go back and forth, back and forth. I mean, that's exactly what we're gonna see in this game. This is gonna be one of the more fun games of the weekend. Absolutely. So, all right. So there you go. All right. Next up, this is our final game that we're going to preview of the week, and it's the Jets and the 49ers. This game has a lot of storylines that we're going to be looking at because there's been a lot of hype around the Jets in a lot of ways this offseason because guess what? To add to their third-ranked defense with, in respect to points last season, they're getting Aaron Rodgers back. What kind of an Aaron Rodgers? That's left to be seen because we haven't seen him play football for a long time after that Achilles injury. So we're going to see him come back with, this Jets talented young roster that really has, it's got some pieces. Garrett Wilson, some of these other guys. There's a lot to like about what they have. It's just whether or not Aaron Rodgers is going to be that MVP caliber player that we're used to seeing before the injury. And then you also have the flip side of the San Francisco 49ers, where you have a bunch of distractions going into this season with the contract stuff going on with Ayuk and what's his name? Trent Williams. So Trent Williams is now they're paying those guys and they're figuring that out, which I've heard rumors. I don't know how much the rumors go deep and are true, but the San Francisco front office is not thrilled about having their financial situation be what it is. So that's another thing that is really kind of a distraction. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan could think about this. If this is a make or break. The 49ers, if they don't win the Super Bowl, this is a make and break situation, right? You're paying all these guys. You're in financial hell when it comes to what you guys are paying across these rosters, this roster. You have to win. And that we talked about hot seats going into a season. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan, with the talent that they've had on these rosters, with what they've been, spending and where they've been finishing, Purdy as well, SDG, they might be hot seat candidates, but really, really quickly if they don't do anything with this roster that they're paying everybody. So just keep in mind on that as well. I think the 49ers have taken a step back. Does that mean they're going to be awful? No. I feel like they're still a very talented roster. Christian McCaffrey. Purdy has all the pieces around him. Ayuk is back to being happy. You have a lot to like. Debo, everything. I just, for this one, San Francisco at home, -4.5. You got the Jets flying back. What time is this game, by the way?
It's the Monday night.
It's the Monday night. Yeah. So that's not really going to matter too much. But 4.5 for San Francisco. Over under set at 44. I still think the San Francisco. I don't have a bet on this game. This is not. I don't have the over under total. I don't have the spread. I'm leaving it alone. But I think there's a couple props that are interesting. I think maybe George Kittle can get over 41.5 total receiving yards. I think that's realistic. This was 3.5 in favor of San Francisco, went up to 4.5 because I think people were betting it quite a bit. I would lean San Francisco in this game at home, just based off of the fact that the Jets have to travel on the road for this Monday nighter. I don't know if it's going to matter too much though. I left this game alone. It's a stay away from me. I know the Jets could potentially be one of the teams that surprises a lot of people. Or maybe not, because a lot of people are already on them. But I think that they could really be a decent team, especially taking that defense from last year, building upon it, and then adding in if Aaron Rodgers plays well. I just don't know what Aaron Rodgers I'm getting.
Right. And I mean, you take a look at this, and if you actually paid attention, I don't know how many of you actually did, but this line was originally -5.5 for the 49ers until the Ayuk and Williams situation got situated. And then as you alluded to, Chris, it was -3.5.
Swung too
much. My
much.
thing is this. It did. It swung huge. My take is this. If there was one takeaway that you had last year about the San Francisco defense, that its Achilles heel was, what was it? The run game. The run defense. The run defense. They just, it wasn't as good as it has been. It was 20th last year. And who's the big bad man that's running the ball in New York?
Breece Hall.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me that if that isn't the AFC version of CMC, besides, he who will not be named anymore, but because, obviously he's back over with the 49ers. He was, in Carolina and all that. But, Breece Hall is going to be the guy that helps Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be able to run the ball. Aaron Rodgers can dump the ball off to him. San Francisco has had problems with that in the past. Last year we saw it. A lot of people are like, oh, I'm leaning 49ers. I'm leaning this way. I just think this or that. But me, again, I'm the spicy guy. I'm taking the Jets 4.5 here.
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm spicy.
Spicy.
Now,
I like
what
it.
happened the last time Aaron Rodgers played on Monday night?
I don't remember. Well,
That
you
that
mean when he got his injury?
The
yeah, what week was?
fastest NFL season anybody's ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what week was that?
What are you foreshadowing here, Rick?
And who tackled him?
Who was it? I forget.
It was Leonard Floyd, who is now
Yeah.
a member of the San Francisco 49ers. The schedule makers are assholes. Of course, there's good questions about like if Ayuk will be ready for this game because, like I mentioned with Kirk Cousins, if you miss the entire preseason, you're not gonna be ready to go completely. Same with Trent Williams, like he's a veteran. He's held it out before, but for better reasons before. But I mean, with the Nats again, it's still you still have the firepower, you still have everything you need. I mean, there's some questions on rust, but overall, this is still easily the better team. As you mentioned, like which Aaron Rodgers are we going to get? He's missed a season. He's 41. He's kind of a media distraction more than a team player. Like Aaron Rodgers is a wild card. Like with the Niners, you know exactly what you're going to get. Even with Ayuk and Williams missing preseason, you know what they're going to get. Rodgers is a pure wild card. How good will he truly be? Can he be the MVP from a few years ago? Or is he going to be the dude that lost to the Detroit Lions to miss the playoffs a couple years ago? And unfortunately, it's the same thing with the Jets, just like the Mets. I will not trust this team until they give me a reason to trust them. Yes, quarterback play should be better, but it's just like I can't get that thing off of me. Like I can't take the Jets knowing who they are deep down. Like it sounds wrong, it sounds bad, but
Well,
you're giving me a prestigious team like the 49ers or the New York Jets. I just can't take the Jets. It just can't.
Not even with Brees Hall, who is the perfect person to go up against the biggest hole that the 49ers have, and that's their run defense. Even that's not enough.
Yeah, I just can't. Like, because again, I don't know what I'm getting out of Aaron Rodgers. Like, I know I'm getting out of the 49ers.
Yeah, SCG, I was just about to say the same thing. They are who we thought they were.
Yeah, basically.
We let them off the hook.
But they are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
And we let them off the hook.
Exactly.
I wouldn't bet this game. That would just be my... I don't like any part of this game. I don't want to touch it.
I think you can honestly put Aaron Rodgers in the same category as we put like these young rookie quarterbacks coming off an injury for him, being his like where he's at age wise, and missing all that time. And I mean, even when he was healthy, he was having trouble winning games in the playoffs. Right? We always know that he's notorious for losing big games in the playoffs late in the year, but I almost, when it comes to betting, I stay away from it only because I put him in the same category. I want to see it before I start betting like a crazy person on these games. I'll leave that up to Doc though. I'll leave that up to Doc. He's more degenerate than I am right now.
I am definitely a degenerate.
That is sad. That is sad.
Listen, Rick, don't worry about what I'm doing over here. All right, Chris and I are gonna do our own thing. You stay over there.
It's sad that you're more degenerate than the man who said, I'm doing really good. I got half my money back.
Hey, just cashing in, baby. Let's go. All right. Well, there you go. So this was an interesting one Monday night. But Jets and 49ers, we'll find out what it all ends up being. So those are the games that we wanted to cover.